In the beginning of the drama, we see the female lead, Ruo Shi, sitting in a place. Just then, the male lead, Wen Mu, arrives. They both have promised each other that they will never leave one another. Now, Ruo Shi is about to get married somewhere else, so Wen Mu comes to get her. And all of this is a dream that the male lead, Gu Yan, was having. Just then, Xiao arrives there and says, "You should get up. You have a meeting." After saying this, he is about to sit on the sofa, but Gu Yan stops him and says, "There are some bacteria on your pants." So Xiao leaves from there. When Xiao goes downstairs, he is using his mobile. Then Gu Mu, who is Gu Yan's sister, comes from behind and says, "This girl is prettier than the previous one." Xiao says, "Don't you know anything about privacy? Why did you come and look at my mobile?" Gu Mu says, "Oh, so now you'll talk to me like this? I was about to give you a girl's number, who is a perfect match for you." Xiao is a playboy, so he runs to Gu Mu to get the number and says, "Quickly, quickly, give me her number." Gu Mu says, "No, I won't give it now." Just then, Gu Yan arrives. Gu Mu gives the flower to her brother and says, "Brother, no one is more important to me than you, so this flower is for you." Gu Yan takes the flower. Xiao says, "Please wait outside. We are coming to pick you up there." In the next scene, we see the female lead, Xun Yu, who is a driver and is driving a car. Just then, Xun Yu gets a call from her friend whose name is Hu Xin. Hu Xin says, "My flower basket was left with my previous client. So can you bring that basket? I need it very badly." Xun Yu says, "Yes, I'll bring it." Saying this, she goes to get the basket. As Xun Yu is going to get the basket, her friend tells her, "A man will be waiting for you with the basket." At that moment, Gu Yan is standing there with the basket, so Xun Yu mistakes him for the basket boy and takes the basket from his hand. Seeing this, Gu Yan remembers the girl from the dream, and after seeing Xun Yu, Gu Yan's heartbeat becomes fast, but Xun Yu takes the basket and leaves. Gu Yan calls out to her from behind, "You are taking my basket, which my sister gave me." But Xun Yu doesn't listen to him, so Gu Yan follows her and sits on her cycle. Xun Yu starts saying, "Client, why did you sit behind me?" Gu Yan says, "I am not a client. I am Gu Yan, and this is my basket, not yours. You are a thief." Xun Yu says, "I am not a thief." While talking, the cycle becomes misbalanced, and Xun Yu falls on top of Gu Yan. Just then, Xiao and Gu Mu arrive there and start taking their pictures. Seeing this, both Xun Yu and Gu Yan start shouting, "Why are you taking our picture?" Just then, Xun Yu remembers that there was another client standing there who was holding a basket, and then she says sorry to Gu Yan. As Gu Yan is about to leave, Xun Yu says, "Take your basket with you." Gu Yan says, "I don't pick up trash." Hearing this, Xun Yu gets angry but says, "All right, I'll take this basket myself." In the next scene, Xun Yu is talking with Hu Xin when she doesn't even realize it and is about to fall after colliding with something. But just then, Gu Yan comes and saves her. When they both look at each other, Xun Yu says, "You came here again?" But because of his fast heartbeat, Gu Yan lets go of Xun Yu. Xun Yu says to her friend, "This is the same boy from whom I took the flower. Look, he has come to take revenge on me." Just then, Xiao arrives there, and when he sees that Gu Yan got hurt while saving Xun Yu, he says, "Quickly, call someone." Xun Yu says, "I will pay for it." So Xiao tells her the payment amount. Hearing this, Xun Yu's condition worsens and she says, "I haven't even met the guy who was supposed to give me money yet." Hearing this, Gu Yan remembers his grandpa's words, who was talking to someone on a call and was asking to arrange for a girl. So Gu Yan thinks she is that same girl. Gu Yan starts taunting Xun Yu and says, "It's not difficult to earn money. You just have to show your real face, which you are not showing." In the next scene, Xiao goes to Grandpa and says, "The girl you sent was of no use, but a girl came before her, because of whom Gu Yan became quite busy." Grandpa says, "Show me that girl's photo." Xiao shows Xun Yu's photo. Grandpa says, "Oh, she is a fairy." And then he asks, "What does this girl do?" Xiao says, "She is a driver." Hearing this, Grandpa is surprised and says, "All right then, we should get ready." In the next scene, Xun Yu is in the flower shop with Hu Xin. Just then, Gu Company's personal assistant, Bai Bin, arrives. Xun Yu says, "Who are you?" Bai Bin says, "I am the personal assistant of Gu Company. I had to place an order for Gu Company." Hearing this, Xun Yu becomes happy and says, "You have come to the right place." Just then, Bai Bin gets a call from someone who asks him to arrange for a driver. Xun Yu overhears all this and says to Bai Bin, "You need a driver." "I am a driver. Take me with you." In the next scene, Xun Yu is sitting in a very big car and looking at the car says, "When will I have a car like this?" Just then, Gu Yan comes and sits in the car, and seeing Xun Yu, he says, "You came here again?" Xun Yu says, "I haven't come here because of you. I have been hired for a job, that's why I am here." Saying this, she starts driving the car. Then an idea comes to her mind, and she starts driving very fast, which scares Gu Yan. So Xun Yu thinks he is still a child. When Xun Yu is parking the car in Gu Yan's garage, she is shocked to see so many cars there and says, "They are all so beautiful." Saying this, Yu's foot collides with something, and she is about to fall when Gu Yan catches her and says, "Are you okay?" Yu quickly pushes him back and gives him his car key. When Gu Yan leaves, Yu remembers that her cycle was left in the car, so Yu goes to Gu Yan's house to get the key. As soon as she enters the house, the key is lying on the table. As soon as Yu picks up the key and is about to leave, Gu Yan comes and takes the key from her hand and says, "How can you just come into my house like this? And why are you taking my car key?" Yu says, "My cycle is left inside your car. Please give me the key so I can take out the cycle." Gu Yan says, "Not right now. This is my rest time." But when Yu insists a lot, Gu Yan says, "Okay, tell me, in which of my hands is the key?" Yu opens his hand, takes the key, and is leaving when her hair comes undone by Gu Yan, so he ties Yu's hair. In the next scene, Gu Yan's grandpa comes to meet Yu. Yu asks, "What help do you need?" Grandpa says, "An old man needs help from you." In the next scene, we see Hao, who is an enemy of Gu Company. Just then, Hao's assistant says to him, "The competition with Gu Company won't be that good for you because the products and all are quite old." In the next scene, Yu is waiting for Gu Yan outside his company. As soon as Gu Yan arrives, Yu says, "I am the driver appointed by your grandpa." Saying this, Yu starts to leave on her cycle because grandpa had said that whether you work or not, you will keep getting paid. In the next scene, Yu gets a call from the director of Gu Company, and she asks Yu to arrange flowers. After this, Yu reaches there with her friend. The director tells them, "You have to put fresh flowers in every room." So Yu knocks on the door outside an office, but there is no sound. So Yu goes inside and places the flowers there. But just then, she sees another room. So Yu goes there to place flowers as well, and sees that Gu Yan is changing clothes there. Seeing this, Yu starts screaming. So Gu Yan puts his hand over her face and says, "You've come this far to approach me again." Yu says, "I came here to do my work. I have no interest in meeting you." And while leaving, she says, "If you need the car, call me." In the next scene, Bai Bin, Yu, and her friend are eating together when Gu Yan sees them. Xiao says, "By the way, your assistant's taste is quite good. He has chosen a very nice girl." Gu Yan looks angrily. Just then, Bai Bin receives a picture and is told that a scandal has been created between Gu Yan and Yu. So Bai Bin asks Yu to see the picture. Hu Xin shows her the picture. Yu gets angry seeing the picture. Hu Xin says, "Oh, it's okay. It's just a rumor." Yu says, "I am not angry because of that, but because I look very fat in the photo." Yu's friend starts looking at the photo. Just then, Yu gets a call from Gu Yan, but Yu cuts the call. In the next scene, Gu Yan has to go to a party, so he gives Yu a dress and heels to take her there too. Yu says, "I won't wear these heels because I have never worn them before. I will fall." Gu Yan says to her, "You said you would stay with me." Hearing this, Yu goes inside and comes back after changing her dress. Gu Yan can't take his eyes off her. Yu says, "I can't drive in this dress." Gu Yan says, "I have made arrangements for that too." When they both come out, Yu sees that Bai Bin has become the driver. Yu is about to go near the car when she starts to fall. Gu Yan catches her and asks her to hold his hand so she doesn't fall. Then, he helps Yu into the car and takes her to the party. Now, after reaching the party, a lady whose name is Lin asks Gu Yan, "This girl is your driver, right?" Gu Yan says, "No. Along with Bai Bin, she is also my assistant," meaning they are both my hands. After this, Hao also arrives there and starts talking to Gu Yan, and in the course of their conversation, they both start fighting. Just then, Gu Mu also arrives there and says, "When are you guys going to turn from friends to enemies?" Gu Yan says, "When were we ever friends? I never considered him a friend." Saying this, Gu Yan takes Yu and comes out. Then Gu Yan sees that everyone is dancing, so he also asks Yu to dance with him, but Yu refuses. Then Lin says to Gu Yan, "Will you be my dance partner?" Gu Yan refuses and says, "I have found my dance partner." Hearing this, Yu just keeps looking at Gu Yan. Now Gu Yan is about to dance with Yu, but Yu leaves from there. Gu Yan is also going after her when business partners come to meet Gu Yan, so Gu Yan sends Bai Bin after Yu. Bai Bin goes to Yu and says, "What happened?" Yu says, "Nothing. I just came to get some fresh air." So Bai Bin takes Yu out to eat because neither of them had eaten at the party. Yu is feeling cold, so Bai Bin takes off his coat and gives it to Yu to wear, and then they both start eating. Yu says, "Bai Bin, where is your home?" Bai Bin says, "My home is very far from your home." And after eating, Bai Bin also goes to drop Yu home. Just as Yu is about to get into the lift, Gu Yan comes from behind and puts his hand on her shoulder. Yu doesn't know who it is, so she's about to hit Guyan, but Guyan catches her foot, and Junyu bumps hard into Guyan. Then she asks, "Now why have you come here?" Guyan says, "Are you okay? Your nose is bleeding." Junyu touches her nose, then quickly goes inside her house to clean the blood and says to Guyan, "Now don't say that you've come to take your revenge." Just then, the door knocks and some people bring a lot of food. Junyu says, "Who called you here?" Guyan says, "I called them here. You didn't eat anything there, so I brought food here." Hearing this, Junyu is shocked. Guyan says, "Won't you touch this food?" Junyu quietly says, "No." Guyan says, "What did you say?" Junyu says, "No, I will touch it." In the next scene, Guyan goes to the doctor and tells her, "Whenever that girl is in trouble, I reach there and save her." The doctor says, "So you should spend more of your time with her." Guyan asks, "Can she help me in my recovery?" The doctor says, "If you spend more time with her, maybe it can happen." In the next scene, Guyan asks Junyu, "Do you like to climb mountains?" Junyu says, "I don't like it, but if I go, I can climb it." Guyan says, "Okay then, come to pick me up at 5 o'clock tomorrow." Junyu says, "So early?" Guyan says, "You don't need to be my boss. When you become my boss, then you can yell at me." So Junyu says nothing. In the next scene, at 5 o'clock in the morning, Junyu takes Guyan to the mountain. Guyan asks Junyu to walk with him and also gives her his bag to carry. Junyu says, "I am your driver. It's better for me to stay here. You go and enjoy." Guyan says, "Come with me, or I will cancel your payment." Junyu says, "Okay, fine, I'll come." Now, poor Junyu, carrying her bag and his, is slowly following Guyan. Guyan looks back and sees that Junyu is tired, so he takes his bag back. Then he sees that Junyu still can't walk, so he takes her bag as well. Later, they both sit down in a place and rest. Junyu starts to drink water, but her water is finished. So she goes to Guyan and says, "Do you have an extra bottle?" Guyan says, "Yes, I do, but I will charge money for it." Junyu says, "Tell me, how much will you charge?" Guyan says, "It will be 50. Junyu says, "So expensive." Guyan says, "Don't you know? Things become more expensive up in the mountains." Junyu says, "Okay, give it to me. Deduct it from my payment." So Guyan gives her the water. After drinking a little water, Junyu says, "I won't drink much of this because it's very expensive." After hearing this, Guyan starts laughing and then falls asleep right there. After looking at him, Junyu is about to sleep there too, but then she thinks about falling and gets up from there and sleeps on Guyan's side. After a while, Guyan wakes up and wakes Junyu, saying, "Get up quickly. We have to go further and then we have to return home in the evening." Hearing this, Junyu becomes very happy, but on seeing Guyan looking, she becomes quiet. Just then, Guyan gets a call from someone, and Junyu thinks of a prank. She catches a caterpillar and places it on Guyan. When Guyan's eyes fall on the caterpillar, he gets scared and is about to fall down when Junyu tries to save him, but she also falls with him. In the next scene, when Junyu regains consciousness, she is on a bed. Guyan says, "I brought you here." Junyu says, "You fell with me too." Then she sees the injury on her breast and says, "Who applied medicine on this wound?" Hearing this, Guyan becomes silent. Now we see a scene from the past where Guyan himself applies medicine to Junyu's breast and also bandages it. Now in the present scene, a grandma comes there and says, "Now you two, the couple, come out." Junyu says, "We are not a couple." The grandma says, Yes, I know. You are not married yet." After the grandma leaves, Junyu says to Guyan, "You should have told them that we are not a couple." Guyan says, "Why should I tell anyone?" In the next scene, Junyu and Guyan have dinner with them, and Guyan drinks a lot. At first, Junyu is about to leave Guyan there and go, but then she says, "Okay, I'll put him to bed inside and give him a blanket." Saying this, she goes to get a blanket. Guyan sees a dream in which he is standing with Ruoshi and says, "I will never leave you, no matter what I have to do." And then he also gives Ruoshi a hairpin and then kisses her. Now, after seeing the dream, Guyan goes to Shunyu's room. Shunyu gets scared seeing him and says, "I came to get a blanket for you. You were sleeping outside. Why did you come here to scare me?" Then Guyan puts a hairpin on Junyu in the same way and then kisses her. In the next scene, Junyu and Guyan go to a place where bricks are made. Just then, Junyu's eyes fall on the brick material. Junyu says, "Do you people prepare this material with your feet? I mean, you don't use any machines or anything?" The person says, "The material is not good for machines. It causes cracks in the bricks." Just then, an idea comes to Sunyu's mind. She says to Guyan, "You are the CEO of the company. You should try this, right?" Guyan says, "Okay," and then he takes off his shoes and starts walking on the soil. Then he calls Shunyu inside too. So Shunyu also goes on the soil, but just then her foot slips, and she is about to fall on Guyan, so Guyan catches her. Then Shunyu remembers the kiss and pushes Guyan away. In the next scene, Zunyu is taking Guyan in the car and says, "Did you remember anything in your memory?" Guyan says, "What would I remember?" Junyu says, last night's incident. Gu-yan says, no, what happened last night? Junyu says, okay, when you remember, then we will talk about it. In the next scene, Gu-yan takes Junyu to the place where he sits and makes statues. As soon as Gu-yan thinks of making a statue, his hands start to tremble. So he says to Junyu, would you like to try too? Junyu says, yes. So Gu-yan makes her sit in his seat, and holding her hand starts to teach her. Just then, Gu-yan sees that his hands are not trembling. Gu-yan so close and quickly moves away, saying, I had to go to my friend's shop. In the next scene, Sun-yu is delivering flowers at a place with her friend. Just then, Bai Bin arrives there. Sun-yu is happy to see him. Bai Bin says, I brought breakfast for you. Saying this, he also starts delivering flowers. Just then, Jun-yu's friend says to her, what's going on between you and him? Jun-yu says, nothing. The friend says, don't you understand yet that Bai Bin also likes you? Jun-yu says, be quiet, he will hear you. The friend says, you spent the night with Gu-yan, so what is between you two? Shun-yu says, nothing happened between us. You just keep assuming things like this. Just then, Bai Bin also arrives, and Xiao also sees Bai Bin with Shun-yu. Shun-yu's friend, Hu Xin, says, you are about to turn 26. Your first kiss is not going anywhere now. You'll see, someone will kiss you. Hearing this, Shun-yu remembers last night's kiss and thinks to herself, if he had to kiss someone, why did my boss kiss me? In the next scene, Shun-yu is sitting at her home when she gets a call from Gu-yan, and Gu-yan suddenly becomes silent while talking on the call. Shun-yu gets worried and quickly goes to Gu-yan's house and sees that Gu-yan is lying on the ground and has a very high fever. So Shun-yu picks up Gu-yan and puts him on the bed. Gu-yan is saying that he doesn't want to go to the hospital, so Jun-yu starts taking care of him at home and, while caring for him all night, falls asleep there. When Gu-yan wakes up in the morning, he sees Jun-yu there and is about to put his hand on her head when Jun-yu wakes up and says, are you okay? Then she is about to check his fever by placing her hand on Gu-yan's forehead when Gu-yan holds her hand and says, what were you about to do? Jun-yu says, nothing. Then she checks his fever with a thermometer and says, you are fine now. I should go. Gu-yan says, you have to stay here to take care of me. Sun-yu says, why should I stay for care? Gu-yan says, I am not forcing you. I just requested. If you don't want to stay, it's fine. I'll find someone else. I'll hire them by paying 3 times more. Hearing this, Jun-yu says, boss, this thing you said about 3 times more, is it still on? Gu-yan says, yes. Jun-yu says, okay then, I will stay here to take care of you. And right now, I will also cook for you. Saying this, Jun-yu goes to cook food. After cooking, when Gu-yan tastes the food, he likes it a lot and starts eating quickly. Jun-yu asks, how is the food? Gu-yan says, it's not that bad. Jun-yu says, be grateful I cooked this for you. Otherwise, I don't cook for anyone except my dad. You are the first person I have cooked for and fed. Gu-yan is very happy to hear this. In the next scene, Miss Hu goes to meet Gu-yan at a bar and says, today I came alone because Mr. Wang was busy, so he sent me. In the next scene, Xiao is also in a club when he gets a picture of a girl. After seeing this, he quickly calls Jun-yu and says, where did you drop Gu-yan? He is in trouble. So Jun-yu tells him about the bar and asks, what happened? Xiao says, you also get there quickly. I'll tell you everything. After a while, Sun-yu reaches Xiao, and Xiao shows her the same picture. Seeing the picture, Sun-yu says, her figure is so good. Xiao says, Gu-yan is in trouble and you are worried about her figure. Then Sun-yu and Xiao quickly go outside Gu-yan's room. Xiao says to Sun-yu, you go inside first. So Sun-yu goes inside first and sees Miss Hu getting very close to Gu-yan. So Sun-yu hits her on the head with something, making her unconscious, and quickly picks up Gu-yan and gives him water. Just then, Xiao sees outside that Mr. Wang is coming, so he quickly goes inside and tells them about Wang. Gu-yan says, quick, hide this girl. Xiao says, Sun-yu fairy, why don't you wear this dress? So Jun-yu wears that dress and, looking in the mirror, says, my figure is not that bad either. And when she goes outside, Gu-yan and Xiao just keep staring at her. So Xiao hides that girl, and Gu-yan starts to take off his shirt. Jun-yu says, what are you doing? What medicine have you taken that you are acting like this? So Gu-yan quickly grabs Jun-yu and pulls her under the blanket. Just then Wang comes and says, Gu-yan, I trusted you so much. Hao is also with Wang. Gu-yan says, what has happened? So Wang shows Gu-yan a photo of him with Hu. Gu-yan says, oh, you are talking about this. I received a message from your mobile, and she said that you are coming to meet me, so I also came for the meeting, but it was Miss Hu instead. Wang says, I can't believe it. If Miss Hu really left, then who is this girl lying with you? So Shun-yu shows her face. Seeing this, Wang says, oh, sorry, I made such a big accusation against you. Gu-yan says, how? the girl you wanted isn't here, right? Hao says, what do you mean by that? Guyan says, you people came and disturbed my baby. So Wang says, sorry, and leaves from there. After they leave, Junyu says, who is your baby? I am not your baby. Then Guyan and Shunyu start looking at each other. Guyan is about to kiss Shunyu when Xiao comes there and says, boss, which makes them both quickly move back. Xiao says, maybe I called out at the wrong time. Saying this, he closes the washroom door again. In the next scene, Guyan is waiting for Shunyu at his house. Just then, he learns that Shunyu has arrived, so Guyan hides behind the door to surprise Shunyu. But when Shunyu goes inside, she doesn't pay any attention and walks past, running her bag over Guyan's foot. So Guyan goes inside and is pressing his foot when Shunyu says, oh boss, you are here. Guyan says, yes, I am right here. Where was I supposed to go? Then Shunyu gives him an agreement paper and says, you have to sign this. It has some of my points that you are not to do. 1. Do not come into my room without permission. Do not touch my things, and do not eat my things either. Guyan says, yes, okay, but I also have some points that I want to add to this. And this dirty stuff you are eating, don't eat it in my house. And he makes her add many more points. Junyu says, okay, I have recorded all this on my mobile. Hearing this, Guyan gets very angry. In the next scene, Gumu goes to Hao and says, you didn't plan all this, like my brother thinks. Hao says, what if I say that I did it? Gumu says, I trust you. You can't do such a thing. Hao says, you shouldn't trust me so much. I can do anything, and you stay away from me. Saying this, Hao starts to leave, but Gumu hugs him from behind and says, even if you do something like that, I still trust that you could never do such a thing. Hao says, whatever you say, I can't fall in love with you. After saying this, Hao leaves. In the next scene, Shunyu and Guyan are eating. Guyan says, I am going to wash the dishes. Shunyu also starts to get up, but while getting up, her hand catches on Guyan's shirt, and the shirt buttons open. Shunyu starts to apologize, but Guyan starts shouting, what's wrong with you? Shunyu is apologizing and closing the shirt buttons. Guyan says, it's okay, and leaves from there. In the next scene, Guyan is unable to sleep. He says, I have to do something. And then he goes into Shunyu's room and deletes that agreement recording from her mobile. He comes back and says, now she can't threaten me. In the next scene, Bai Bin comes to a fairy statue and says, it's been a long time since I last came here, but I promise that I will take care of her. After this, Shunyu is practicing karate. Just then, Guyan comes and says, I was sleeping. What noise have you made here? Shunyu says, this is my daily routine. I exercise every day, and you're not supposed to talk about my private life? Guyan says, I didn't make any such promise. So Shunyu is about to play the recording, but sees that the recording is deleted. Shunyu says, you did this, didn't you? Guyan says, no, I didn't do it, and starts to leave. Then Junyu plays the recording from behind. Guyan says, where did you get this recording from? Junyu says, I knew you would delete it, so I emailed this recording to myself. So Guyan starts to take the mobile from her, and, while accidentally taking the mobile, hugs her. Junyu pushes him aside and says, if you ever do something like this with me again, I will leave this place. Guyan says, no, I won't go back on my words. Don't you leave from here. In the next scene, Shunyu is sitting with Huxin. Just then, a boy arrives whose name is Yao and says to Shunyu, I missed you a lot. Shunyu says, why did you come here? Yao says, I have to work at a magazine company. If I get the job, I will stay right here. Shunyu says, where will you stay? Yao says, I'll stay in a hotel nearby. Huxin says, you can stay at Shunyu's house. Besides, she is not living at her house. Yao asks, why? Huxin says, because she is living at her boss's house. So, Shunyu silences her. Yao says, why are you living at your boss's house? You are his driver, aren't you? Shunyu says, yes. Along with being a driver, I sometimes become his personal assistant. That's all. Just then, an idea comes to Huxin. Because Yao has a lot of fans on social media, she thinks of using Yao for her shop and puts a lot of flowers on him. Junyu says to Yao, you look so handsome, don't you? Guyan sees all this from outside and gets jealous, leaving from there. While leaving, he says to someone, put some men behind Junyu. In the next scene, Guyan goes to the doctor for a checkup. The doctor says, you need to get even closer to Shunyu. That's the only way you can recover. In the next scene, when Shunyu is going with Yao, she feels like someone is clicking her photo. And when Shunyu is coming out of the building, she again feels that someone is clicking her photo. And this time, she sees those people and deliberately goes back inside. So those people quickly start to leave, but Junyu comes out and catches them, saying, all right, now give me the mobile, or I will call the police. So those people give Junyu the phone. Junyu sees her photo on the mobile and gives the mobile back, saying, Guyan told you to do all this, right? The people nod their heads. After this, Shunyu goes to Guyan's company and says, why were you secretly taking my pictures? Guyan says, what pictures? So Shunyu takes his mobile, but the phone is locked. So Shunyu holds the mobile in front of Guyan's face, which opens the mobile. Junyu takes out the pics and says, "Still going to lie?" Guyan says, "Okay, so this other boy with you, who is he?" Junyu says, "Why should I tell you? This is my personal matter." Guyan says, "You have to tell me, or I will fire you." Junyu says, "Okay, do it. And because of the pictures you took of me, I can also call the police." Saying this, Junyu starts to make a call, but Guyan takes the mobile from her. Junyu starts to take the mobile from Guyan, and they both slip, which causes them to accidentally kiss. Bin sees all this and sadly leaves from there. In the next scene, after reaching home, Junyu calls Xin and says, "My friend's boss kissed her. Does that boss like her?" Xin understands that she is talking about herself, so she says, "Who kissed whom?" Junyu says, "How would I know who kissed whom?" Xin says, "Yes, he must definitely like her." Junyu says, "Really? Does he like me?" And changing the subject, she says, does he like my friend?" In the next scene, Guyan takes Junyu with him to Bin and says, "You wanted to resign, right? So now you can go." After Guyan leaves, Junyu asks, "Have you found any job?" Bin says, "No, but I will find some job." And then he is about to say something to Junyu when Guyan calls for Junyu, so Junyu leaves from there. In the next scene, at night, Junyu and Bin are sitting and having dinner. Just then, Guyan arrives. Bin says, "You also sit with us?" Guyan says, "I just came to tell you, Junyu, you have a lot of work. You need to go and do it." Junyu says, "I haven't even started eating yet. I am hungry." Guyan says, "Yes, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes." As Junyu starts eating, an idea comes to her mind, and she says to Guyan, "Why don't you eat with us?" Then she gives him spicy food, because Junyu knows that he doesn't like spicy food. Besides, Junyu remembers Xin's words. If he likes you, and he sees you with another boy, he will angrily do even things he doesn't like. But Guyan starts eating that food and also drinks a lot, and then he leaves from there. When Junyu goes home, she sees that Guyan is not there. So she asks Xiao on a call. Xiao says, "No, he is not with me either." Junyu asks him, "Do you know of any place where Guyan goes?" So Xiao tells her about a place where he makes statues. In the next scene, Junyu goes to Guyan, who is in a drunken state. He says to Junyu, "These hands of mine can never make a statue, because whenever I start to make one, my hands start to tremble. That's why I can't take the other company's project. I can't do anything, meaning I am useless." Saying this, he falls asleep on Junyu's shoulder. So Junyu starts to lift him and go, but she can't lift Guyan, and Guyan falls on top of her. Junyu still can't lift Guyan, so they both spend the night together like that. And when Guyan wakes up in the morning, he asks, "What did I do with you?" Junyu says, "Nothing, let it go." After this, Junyu goes to Grandpa and starts talking about Guyan and asks, "Why can't Guyan make statues anymore?" Grandpa says, "Why do you want to know about him?" Junyu says, "I want to help him." So Grandpa says, "Oh, that's a good thing." And then he shows her a trophy and explains. Now we see a scene from the past where Guyan is at a ceremony and receives that trophy. And when Guyan is going in the car, he is looking at the trophy when suddenly Guyan has an accident, which causes Guyan to get very badly injured. Now, in the present scene, Grandpa says, that day, Guyan's company also suffered a loss, and Guyan's hand was injured very badly. It has healed, but Guyan's problem is not because of the injury, it's because of himself. Hearing this, Junyu comes back to the company and stands outside the office, listening to Guyan and Xiao's conversation. Xiao says to Guyan, "You have to go to a meeting for a project." Guyan says, "I will not go to this meeting. I will drop this project because I can't use my hand, so how can I take that project?" Then, when they are about to come out, Junyu runs away from there. Then Guyan goes near the car and Junyu says, "Boss, where would you like to go? And what would you like to eat?" Guyan says, "What do you like?" Junyu says, "I like spicy food." Guyan says, "All right then, today let's go eat spicy food." Then they go to a restaurant where Guyan orders a lot of spicy food. At first, Guyan is also eating that food, but later his condition starts to worsen, so he starts eating boiled rice. Junyu says, "Oh boss, I'll order other food for you." And then she orders other food and says, "Boss, can you give me a small reward? My birthday is coming, so can you get me a gift that I want?" Guyan says, "Okay." And then he takes her to a mall and says, "Whatever you like from here, take it." Junyu says, "What I want to get, I won't find it here." Guyan asks, "Where will you find it?" So Junyu takes him to the statue place and says, "What I wanted, I will get it from here." Guyan asks, "Do you want some painting or statue or something from here?" Junyu says, "Yes, the things here are priceless, aren't they?" Guyan says, "Yes, whatever you want, I will give it to you." Junyu says, "Even if you make a small statue, I want to take a statue made by your hand. I know your hands can't make statues, but you shouldn't give up like this." Guyan says, "Who told you all this?" Junyu says, "I went to your grandpa. He told me all this." Guyan says, "You don't need to get into my personal life. You have crossed your line." Junyu says, "Yes, I know, but you also told me all this in a drunken state, which is why I had to go to grandpa. And I will only tell you one thing. You should not think that you can't make a statue. You have to think that you can make a statue, which is how you can get well." Saying this, Junyu leaves from there. And after some time, when Guyan is about to go out, Shunyu calls out from behind. Guyan looks at her and says, "You didn't leave?" Shunyu says, "If I had left, I would have had to come back to get you anyway." Hearing this, Guyan hugs her and says, "Thanks. You have helped me so much and you have always been on my side." And then, right in front of Junyu, he calls Mr. Wang and says, "I want to take this project. When should I come to sign?" In the next scene, Hao goes to his mom, and his mom starts scolding him, "Why couldn't you get this project? Guyan has once again gotten ahead of you." Hearing this, Hao starts to think about something. Now we see a scene from the past where, in childhood, Hao's mom used to beat him because Guyan would get ahead of him, meaning Hao has been beaten because of Guyan from the beginning. Now, in the present scene, Hao leaves from there. In the next scene, Shunyu is waiting for Guyan. As soon as Guyan comes downstairs and is about to get close to Shunyu, Shunyu says, "Your tie is not right. Let me fix it." Guyan says, "It's fine." But Shunyu starts fixing his tie anyway. Just then, Guyan says, "There's something on your face." And saying this, he comes close to her to clean her face and starts to kiss her. But just then, Gumu and Xiao arrive there. Gumu says, "Looks like we came at the wrong time." Xiao says, "Yes, we came at the wrong time." And they both start to leave. Shunyu stops them and says, "The boss was just cleaning the dust off my face." Guyan asks, "Gumu, what have you come here for today?" Gumu says, "Brother, today is a very big day for you. How could I not come to meet you? I stand with you in all your happiness." And then she says to Shunyu, "Today is such a big day. Come on, come with me to get makeup done." And then they are both going together in the car when a car comes and stops in front of their car. Gumu goes to fight with them, and those people grab Gumu and throw her in the trunk of the car. Seeing all this, Shunyu goes to fight with them and also fights a little, but still, the person puts Shunyu in the trunk of the car as well. So Shunyu calls Guyan and repeatedly taps on the mobile. Then, as the car brakes, Shunyu quickly says on the phone, "Guyan, come and save us. They have kidnapped us." Just then, the kidnapper takes the mobile from Shunyu. Guyan runs towards their car. Then he remembers that there must be a recording here, and then Guyan notes down the car number. Just then, Guyan gets a call from an unknown number, and the person says, "Guyan, if you don't sign this contract, your sister will come back by tomorrow. And if you sign it, your sister's pictures will be uploaded on social media, which could ruin your sister's career." So Guyan says, "Okay, I will not sign this contract." After this, Hao goes to Guyan and says, "I heard you canceled the contract. What happened?" Hearing this, Guyan starts to beat Hao and says, "Tell me, where is my sister?" Hao says, "Have you gone mad? What are you saying? How would I know where your sister is?" So Guyan shows him the video. Hao says, "As much as your sister is dear to you, she is that dear to me too. Why would I kidnap her?" Guyan says, "She loves you so much and still you will hurt her." Hao says, "Believe me, I haven't done anything." Just then, Guyan gets a call from someone and starts to leave from there. Hao stops him and says, "I want to go with you too." But Guyan doesn't give any answer and starts to leave from there. Then he says to Hao, "Why did you stop? Aren't you coming with me?" In the next scene, Shunyu says to Gumu, "Now you have to act like you have a stomachache." Gumu says, "You have so much faith in my acting?" Then Gumu starts acting. Shunyu quickly starts knocking on the door and says, "Because of your food, Gumu's stomach has started to hurt. Call a doctor." And then she also looks at the camera and says all this, so the person controlling the camera quickly sends some people there. As the guards come inside to check, one of them goes to Gumu. So Shunyu, after hitting the men behind, hits the man in front and takes Gumu and runs away from there. Just then, Gumu sprains her ankle and can't walk, so she says to Shunyu, "You go from here and bring my brother." So Shunyu runs away from there. Just then, a car comes from the front, and Guyan and Hao get out of it. Shunyu sees Guyan and hugs him, and Hao starts to ask about Gumu. Shunyu says, "She is inside." So Hao runs inside and understands that someone from his own family has done this. Over here, Guyan takes Shunyu and goes home. When Hao goes inside, Gumu is happy to see him and says, "I told Shunyu to send someone, but she sent you to save me." And then she hugs him. Hao pushes her aside and says, "A car is coming to pick us up, so we have to sit here and wait." So Gumu and Hao sit there, and Gumu hugs Hao. Hao says to her, "You have to sit there, not here." So Gumu goes there and starts crying, saying, "You don't even let me hug you. If you don't let me hug you, then why did you come to save me here?" And then she starts crying, so Hao, seeing her emotional, comes to her and says, "Okay, you can hug me." so Gu-mu hugs him. In the next scene, Hao goes to his mom and says, "Mom, what have you done? And there is no need to act anymore. I know what you have done. And now we understand why we didn't get that project, because we were not capable of it." And then he calls Guyan and says, "We are not taking this project. Now it's up to you. If you want to take the project, you can go and sign." In the next scene, Junyu and Guyan go to a chairman for that project, and that chairman is none other than Bai Bin. Junyu says, "Bai Bin, you?" Bai Bin says, "I am the chairman here." Guyan says, "So why did you work for me?" Bai Bin says, "To learn. But don't you worry. I will not tell your secrets to anyone. They will still remain between us." And then they both sign the contract for that project. In the next scene, Sunyu goes to her dad's house with her friend. Guyan is not feeling good at his house, so he also goes to Shunyu's house with Xiao. After this, the door of Shunyu's house knocks. When Shunyu opens the door, Bai Bin is there. Shunyu says, "Bai Bin, you're here?" Bai Bin says, "Yes, I came here for some work, so I thought I would meet you." So Junyu takes Bai Bin inside. After a while, the door knocks again. When Bai Bin opens the door, Guyan and Xiao are there. Guyan says to Bai Bin, "How are you here?" Just then, Sunyu also comes from behind and says, "Boss, how are you here?" And then she takes them both inside. Just then, Sunyu's dad arrives there and starts talking to Guyan and Bai Bin. And then dad tells them about his hobby. "I like painting and fishing a lot." Bai Bin says, "Yes, I also like fishing a lot." So dad says, "There is an old man inside you too, and our friendship will be good because I am an old man." And then Sunyu's dad asks Guyan about his hobby. Guyan says, "I make statues." Dad says, "This is your job. Tell me about your hobby." Guyan has no hobby, and he is not feeling good there at all, so he leaves from there. When Junyu comes out, Guyan is also sitting there. Junyu comes to scare him, but Guyan doesn't get scared. Junyu says, "What happened? Why are you sitting here?" Guyan says, "Your dad's hobby doesn't match my hobby, and it seems like your dad won't like me at all." Junyu says, "Dad's liking is not necessary. If you like me, then..." Guyan says, "What did you say? Say it again." Junyu says, "I don't repeat the same thing over and over, and whatever I said, just forget it." Saying this, she leaves, and Guyan starts to smile. In the next scene, Guyan is sleeping. Shunyu comes to wake him up, and Guyan grabs her hand, hugs her, and calls her Ruoshi. Hearing the name Ruoshi, Shunyu gets angry and leaves from there, giving the car key to Xiao. Then she goes to her dad. Just then, Bai Bin arrives there. Dad and Bai Bin are talking, and Xiao goes and sits on one side. Just then, Shunyu's dad, seeing her sitting alone, says to Bai Bin, "You go sit with Shunyu. Talk to her and all." So Bai Bin goes to Shunyu and says, "What happened?" Shunyu says, "You have worked with Guyan. Do you know if Guyan has a relationship with anyone else? Does he like any other girl?" Bai Bin says, "Come with me to a place." And then he shows Junyu an interview of Guyan's grandpa, in which grandpa is talking about the fairy painting. "We found her in a place, of which my son had also made a statue, and that painting was very old." Hearing the name fairy painting, Sunyu feels strange and says, "Does this painting have any link with me?" Bai Bin says, "You will have to find out for yourself what link that painting has." In the next scene, everyone starts to leave. Sunyu's dad says to Guyan, "My daughter is now your responsibility, and you take good care of my daughter. After all, you are her leader." Sunyu says, "Dad, I can take care of myself." In the next scene, Hao is sitting in a place when Gu-mu comes and gives him a lollipop. Just then, Hao remembers something from school. Now we see a scene from the past where Hao is sitting in school, and Gu-mu comes from behind and puts her hands on his eyes. Hao always used to recognize her, and when Hao looks at his hands, Gu-mu says, "Your mom beat you again, right? And that too because your score was lower than my brother's." And then she starts looking at his hand. Now, in the present scene, Hao says, "My mom had you kidnapped. Sorry for that." Gu-mu says, "It's okay. In fact, I will thank Aunt because of this, you came to save me." In the next scene, Sunyu calls Gu-mu and says, "Can you show me that fairy statue?" Gu-mu says, "No, because you are not from the Gu family." Junyu says, "Okay, if you don't want to show it, then don't." Gu-mu says, "Wait, I didn't even thank you for last night's incident." "Come on, now in return for the thanks, I will show you that statue, because your link is also with that statue." Sunyu asks, "How is that?" Gu-mu says, "Go and see for yourself." And then Gu-mu takes Junyu to the place with the fairy statue, and it looks exactly like Sunyu. Sunyu says, "This is exactly like me." Gu-mu says, "That's the reason it's exactly like you. We never thought that God would create the same girl again. Brother learned to make statues because of this statue, and then he had an accident. He stopped making statues, but now that you have come into Brother's life, Brother has started making statues again. That's why everyone calls you Fairy." Hearing this, Junyu starts crying and says, "Xiao used to call me Fairy all the time for this reason, and I thought Guyan likes me, but he is just using me." After this, Junyu goes home and starts packing her things. Guyan asks, "What happened?" Junyu says, I'll help you tell the truth. You brought me here so that you could make statues and all because my face resembles that statue fairy, right? Guyan says, no, I am not using you. Junyu says, no, you are using me. And besides, don't think of me as the one you saw in the statue. I am different. Saying this, she leaves. In the next scene, Junyu is standing very sad at the shop. Hu-shin comes and says, you don't need to be sad. Come on out. Someone is waiting for you. When Junyu goes out, it is Bai-bin. Bai-bin asks, why did you resign? Junyu doesn't give a very specific reason. Bai-bin says, I came here to invite you to be my dance partner. At Hu-shin's insistence, Junyu agrees. Then, when Junyu gets ready and goes to Bai-bin, Bai-bin just keeps looking at her and says, you only consider me a friend, but in my heart, I have feelings for you that are more than that. And then he gives her a hairpin. Junyu says, I can't take this. It's very expensive, but Bai-bin puts the hairpin in her hair. Junyu still tries to reject it. Bai-bin says, you should think more. There's no need to give an answer so quickly. In the next scene, when Junyu is standing with Bai-bin at the party, Guyan comes and takes Junyu away from there. Seeing this, Miss Lin also goes after them, and Yao also goes after Lin. Over here, Guyan says to Junyu, you like me, don't you? Junyu says, why are you asking me this now? Guyan says, because I like you too. Junyu says, you like me? Guyan says, I admit that I called you to be with me for my own use, but now I have fallen in love with you and now I can't live without you. Lin and Yao also overhear all this. Junyu says, I can't answer you right now. I need some answers. And Lin goes to one side and starts crying, saying, the one I loved loves someone else. Just then, Yao comes from behind. Lin says, whenever I am embarrassed, you come from behind. Yao says, come on, let's have a drink. Over here, Junyu goes to the washroom and is thinking, today 2 boys proposed to me. And thinking this, when she comes out, Bai-bin is standing outside. Bai-bin invites her to dance, but Guyan comes and takes Junyu away from there and starts dancing. Due to Junyu's dance phobia, her condition starts to worsen. Now we see a scene from the past. Junyu's mom is dancing, and Junyu is also sitting and watching. Just then, something falls on Junyu's mom, and at that very moment, her mom dies. Now, in the present scene, the doctor says, there is no need to be so worried. In the next scene, Xiao regains consciousness after his mobile ringtone goes off and sees Hu-shin lying next to him. Both of them immediately sit up, first look at themselves, and then scream loudly. They both had drunk a lot together at a hotel last night, which is why they were lying like that. In the next scene, Yao is feeding soup to Junyu when Guyan arrives there and asks, who are you? Yao says, he is the same boy who proposed to you last night, right? So Junyu holds Yao's hand. Seeing this, Guyan gets even angrier and says, who are you? Junyu says, there is no need to show off so much. He is my brother. And then she says to Yao, he is Guyan, the CEO of Gu Company. Hearing this, Yao starts to introduce himself and says, I am an editor at a magazine company. In the next scene, Guyan comes to the doctor for a checkup, and the doctor is going to see Guyan out. Just then, Junyu arrives there. Junyu says, how are you here? The doctor says, you two know each other? Guyan says, the girl I talk about is this girl right here. And then he leaves. So the doctor takes Junyu inside, and this doctor is Junyu's aunt. Junyu asks, why is Guyan coming to you? Is he undergoing some treatment? The doctor says, yes, he has a very strange disease. In the next scene, Junyu goes to a restaurant to meet Bai-bin, and while returning the hairpin to him says, I considered you my friend before, and I still consider you my friend. In my heart, I have no other feelings for you. Bai-bin says, I respect your answer, but we are still friends, right? Saying this, they both shake hands. Just then, Guyan comes and takes Junyu away from there. Bai-bin is looking at that hairpin. Now we see a scene from the past where Bai-bin is with that Ruoshi, and they are both looking at a couple who are confessing their love to each other by giving a hairpin. Just then, Bai-bin remembers that he has also made a hairpin and tells Ruoshi to wait and leaves from there. And when he comes back with the hairpin, Ruoshi is not there, and this is the same hairpin that Bai-bin gave to Junyu. Now, in the present scene, Guyan takes Junyu to that statue and says, Guyan gave us this statue before he died. And do you remember when we first met? And when I went to the museum with you, I found out that I can make statues when you are with me. So I thought you should always be in front of my eyes, so I can keep making new statues. And you brought me towards this. Now I like you a lot. And then he gives her a hairpin. Junyu says, nowadays, why do you boys express your love by giving a hairpin? Guyan says, Junyu, I made this with my own hands. Its value is much more, right? Please be my girlfriend. Junyu puts her hair up in a bun and says, what are you waiting for? Come on, put the hairpin on me. So Guyan puts the hairpin on Junyu and says, Junyu, but what is your answer? So Shunyu kisses Guyan directly. Guyan says, "This is your first kiss, right?" Shunyu says, "You have taken advantage of me many times before, so I thought, let me also take advantage this time. Now that you have become my boyfriend, your first job is to drop me home. I am tired of being your driver, so now you will drop me home." So Guyan drops Shunyu home and isn't leaving from there either. He says to Shunyu, "If you kiss me, I will leave." Shunyu says, "No, I can't kiss you here. My neighbors might see me." Guyan says, "You have a chance right now. No one is watching us." So, just as Shunyu is about to kiss him, she sees her dad and aunt coming, so she starts cleaning Guyan's shirt. The aunt says, "Is this your boyfriend?" Shunyu says, No, he is my boss." In the next scene, Guyan comes to pick up Shunyu. Shunyu says, "There's a problem," and she takes Guyan inside, where a child named Dudu is sitting. Shunyu says, "He is my aunt's grandson. She has gone out for some urgent work. She has asked me to take care of him, so we can't go today." Dodo says to Shunyu, "Is he your boyfriend? You two were going on a date." Guyan says, "Yes, you are right. She is my girlfriend. We were going on a date." Dodo says, "Can you guys take me with you too? Please, please." So Guyan agrees, and then the three of them go for some rides. Shunyu asks, "Was this in your plan, or did you change it?" Guyan says, "This was in my plan." And then they all start taking rides. Shunyu and Dodo are enjoying a lot, but Guyan was scared of the rides, yet he still takes them at their insistence. Dodo asks to go on another ride, so Shunyu looks at Guyan, and his condition is quite bad. She says, "Dodo, first let's eat, and then we'll take rides later." So Dodo agrees, and then they all start eating. After eating, Dodo again says, "Now we'll take rides, right?" So Shunyu looks at Guyan, and he is hiding his face and gesturing to refuse. So Shunyu says to Dodo, "Someone here was acting very brave before, but now he is scared. Dodo, I can't take rides after eating because if we do, I will vomit. You understand, right?" Dodo says, "All right, fine." And then, when they are leaving, Dodo says, "I want to take the boat swing ride." Shunyu refuses him. Guyan says, "No, come on, let's go and take it." Now, after sitting in the ride, Guyan is very scared, so he looks at Shunyu and then kisses her directly. After this, the three of them go to have dinner at night. Guyan asks Dodo to leave from there, so Dodo makes an excuse of going to the washroom and leaves. Just then, the lights turn off, and Guyan plays the piano, and a cake also comes for Shunyu. Then, Dodo also comes there. Then, the three of them blow out the candle together, and they also wish Shunyu a happy birthday. Then Guyan takes Shunyu to another place, with Dodo along, but he falls asleep, so Guyan puts him to sleep in a tent. Then they both start watching the stars, and Guyan sees Shunyu as the same Ruoshi from his dream. Guyan then says to Shunyu, "The girl I see in my dreams is wearing a red wedding dress." Shunyu says, "That is just a dream and I haven't said yes to marrying you yet." Guyan says, "What if I make you say yes?" Saying this, he kisses her. In the next scene, Lin is sitting and crying when Yao comes there. Lin says, "Now why have you come here?" Yao says, "Come on, let's go home now. I'll drop you home." Lin says, "I don't want to go home." Yao says, "Okay, fine. Wherever you want to go, I'll drop you there." And then they both go to a club. Lin drinks a lot and says, "Guyan has rejected me, and Guyan hasn't been able to make any statues for 5 years." A reporter also overhears all this from behind, so Yao leaves from there. The reporter comes to Lin and says, "Is what you just said true?" Lin is not listening to him at all. Just then, Yao comes there and says, "I will call the police. You leave from here." And he takes Lin to a room. Lin makes Yao drink too and starts singing a song herself. Yao doesn't like her voice, so he takes the mic from Lin. Lin is taking the mic from him, and after biting his hand, is leaving from there. Yao says, "You bit me, so I will also take my revenge." Lin puts her hand forward and says, "It's not that big a deal." So Yao, while biting her hand, quickly kisses her. When Lin comes to her senses, she quickly pushes Yao back and runs away from there. In the next scene, Shunyu moves back into Guyan's house. Guyan makes Shunyu lie down and is about to kiss her when Shunyu says, "Uncle will see us." Guyan says, "No, it's just you and me here, and you know how much I missed you when you weren't here." Hearing this, Shunyu kisses Guyan. In the next scene, Hao and Gumu go to an art exhibition and are looking at a painting. Just then, Guyan and Shunyu also arrive there. So Hao and Guyan start fighting over the painting. One says, "This is lacking, this thing." The other says, "No, this thing is lacking." After this, when the four of them are sitting together, Hao says, "Guyan, you have started dating too. You work so much. Where do you get the time to date?" Guyan says, "Oh, is that so? All right then. You go on a date with Gumu, and I will go on a date with Shunyu. Let's see who wins." And after this, the four of them go to a place where Guyan gets a lot of toys for Shunyu, but Hao only gets one toy. Guyan says, "Now you know who dates better, right?" Hao says, "We can still continue." Guyan says, I am going with Shunyu and you go with Gumu. I don't want to continue further. So Gumu angrily puts the toy in front of Hao and says, you don't need to get so angry. It was just a game. Winning and losing is a part of it. You are different, and he is different. In the next scene, Guyan says to Xiao, a girl is coming today, and you know that girl, right? Just then, a girl arrives whose name is Yina. She meets Xiao and also hugs Guyan. Guyan says, have you gone and met Gumu? Yina says, that was my first task. I have already met her. And then Yina says, Guyan, I have come here for you. I know about a person who has a lot of stones. He is my best friend's dad who lives abroad. In the next scene, Guyan is applying nail polish to Shunyu. Shunyu happily kisses Guyan. Guyan says, will you go with me tomorrow? Shunyu says, are we going to do something fun? Guyan says, yes, come with me tomorrow. Shunyu says, then I will have to buy a dress too so I look pretty. Guyan says, no, you look so pretty in every dress. You are just that pretty. Saying this, Guyan starts to kiss Shunyu. Shunyu says, my nail polish isn't even dry yet. Please let it dry. But Guyan still doesn't stop and starts to kiss her. After this, Guyan and Shunyu go to Yina's place. Guyan says to Shunyu, this is Gumu's best friend, Yina. Yina asks, who is she? Guyan says, she is my girlfriend. Hearing this, Yina gets jealous. Then Guyan and Shunyu go inside and meet Yina's friend's dad. Then Guyan starts to look at the stones. Just then, Guyan really likes one stone. So he says to Shunyu, I really liked this stone. Just then, Yina's friend's dad also starts to ask, which stone did you like? Guyan says, I really liked this one stone. So he explains, I can't give this one because I have kept it very well and I don't want to give it either. Guyan says, I know they also have a life in them and what I want to make will also have a soul. Hearing this, the person says, by the way, these are priceless, but I am thinking of taking them to the garden. Will you help me? Guyan says, yes, absolutely. And then he starts to pick up the stones. Yina then gives Guyan something to drink, and then Yina comes to Shunyu, says some harsh words, and leaves, which makes Shunyu sad. After the work is finished, when Shunyu comes home angrily, Guyan says, I am going to take a shower. Shunyu says, you don't need to tell me all this, whether you are going to take a shower or not. Guyan says, what happened to you? Shunyu says, you should have told me that you were also bringing a pretty girl there. I also needed to prepare a little and get ready. And my dressing was not that good either. What must she be thinking about me? Guyan is laughing hearing this. Shunyu taunts him, saying, congratulations, Guyan. Let's celebrate somewhere. Yina had said this to Guyan somewhere, which is why Shunyu was taunting him. Hearing this, Guyan says, you are getting jealous. Shunyu says, why would I be jealous? I am not getting jealous. Guyan says, oh, then you won't be worried about why I am with her. Shunyu says, don't forget that I have learned karate. If you cheat on me, you won't be spared. Guyan holds her hand and says, don't do this. I'm getting scared. Shunyu lowers her hand and says, you have become so dirty today. So Guyan pulls Shunyu towards him and says, okay, you have also become dirty with me. Let's go wash together. In the next scene, Yina invites Guyan to her art exhibition and says, if you are free, please do come. Guyan says, yes, I will definitely come. Then Yina also asks Shunyu to come. Shunyu says, if I have time, I will definitely come. And then Shunyu is thinking about this. Guyan says, what are you thinking? Shunyu says, I don't know anything about art, what a painting is, what a sketch is. If you take me with you, you will only be embarrassed. Guyan says, for me, it's enough that you are by my side. And when I need to recharge, you recharge me with your love. Saying this, he kisses Shunyu. In the next scene, Guyan goes to the art exhibition with Shunyu. Yina hugs Guyan and says, I didn't know you would take out your expensive time for me. Shunyu doesn't feel good seeing this at all. And then just then, Guyan meets his dad's friend, so Yina, and they all start talking about the paintings. Shunyu is quietly listening to them, and then everyone starts to leave from there. But Shunyu is standing right there. Guyan says, Shunyu, and extends his hand forward. Shunyu happily goes to Guyan. In the next scene, Shunyu goes to Huxin and tells her everything. Huxin says, before competing with that girl, we should eat and drink something. And then they both go for a drink, where Shunyu drinks a lot and starts bad-mouthing Guyan. Just then, Huxin gets a call from the hospital that her mom's health is not good, so Huxin says to a person, a boy will come to pick up this girl. Until then, you have to take care of her. The person says, okay. After Huxin leaves, Bai Bin arrives there. Shunyu, seeing Bai Bin, thinks he is Guyan, so she starts taunting him. Seeing this, Bai Bin feels very bad. Just then, Shunyu gets a call from Guyan. She says to Bai Bin, you are sitting in front of me, so why are you calling me? Bai Bin starts to take the mobile from her, but Shunyu attends the call and says, I don't want to talk to you, and then cuts the call. So Baibin takes Junyu to her house and calls Guyan to come and get Junyu from downstairs. When Guyan comes downstairs, he sees Baibin with Junyu, pulls Junyu towards him and says, "Why did you come here to drop her off?" Baibin says, "Guyan, you are doing very wrong with Junyu. If you continue to be with Junyu like this, I will take my Junyu back." So Guyan picks up Junyu and puts her in the room. When Junyu regains consciousness, Guyan says, "Tell me who bullied you. I will beat him up badly." Junyu says, "All right then, beat yourself up." Guyan says, "Why? What did I do?" Junyu says, "You hugged Yine." Hearing this, Guyan starts to smile and says, "Oh, so you are getting jealous. I should be the one getting jealous for the drink you had with Baibin." Junyu says, "My being jealous is justified here. You've brought your own matter into it." Saying this, she starts to leave, so Guyan hugs Junyu and says, "Sorry, okay, forgive me." Junyu says, "Okay, but what are you apologizing for?" Guyan says, "I shouldn't hug other girls. I should stay away from them." Hearing this, Junyu becomes happy. Guyan says, "You are the only girl whom I love." Saying this, Guyan kisses Junyu. In the next scene, Junyu goes to Guyan's office, kisses him, and says, "There is an event at our flower shop tomorrow night. Will you come there too?" Guyan says, "Yes, I will come. First, give me one more kiss." So Junyu kisses him and says, "Now you will come, right?" Guyan says, "Now it's time for me to get recharged." And then he pulls Junyu towards him and starts to kiss her. In the next scene, Yao is going to Junyu's place. Lin sees him and, following him, goes to the shop. There, Yao is getting his picture taken with some girls. Seeing this, Lin is going inside when Guyan comes from behind and says, "Lin, what are you doing here?" Lin says, "Keep an eye on your girlfriend." This means that Lin has also started to like Yao, so Guyan goes inside the shop. In the next scene, Yao goes to Lin. Lin says, "I'll give you a chance. Whatever you want to say, you can say it." Yao says, "Junyu is my sister, and I have only one sister." Lin says, "Sister?" Yao says, "I know there is a misunderstanding between you two, and that too because of my brother-in-law. That's why I didn't tell you about my relationship with my sister." Hearing this, Lin is shocked. Yao says, "You still don't believe it?" So he shows a form from his mobile and says, "I want to write your name in the household register too." Hearing this, Lin looks at Yao, and Yao kisses Lin. Then they both go home together. Yao says, "Today I will cook for you because I have troubled you a lot," and is about to leave when Lin hugs Yao from behind. All the things fall from Yao's hand, and when Yao looks at Lin, Lin kisses Yao. In the next scene, it's Gumu's birthday party. Hao comes there and then is about to leave. Gumu sees this and goes to him saying, "If you had to go back, then why did you come here?" And then she says, "This is my gift." So Hao gives her a gift. Gumu also says to Hao, "I also have a gift," and takes out a card and gives it to him, saying, "Tonight at 10 o'clock, come to this room, and you will get your gift. If you don't come, you will never see my face again." In the next scene, Xiao goes to Hu Xin and is about to say something to her, but Hu Xin is not listening to him. So Xiao pulls her and takes her away from there and, going to a place, says, "I want to make you mine." Hu Xin says, "What did you say?" So Xiao kisses Hu Xin and says, "I will wait for your answer." In the next scene, Hao goes to Gumu's room, where there are many pictures of Hao and Gumu. Just then, Gumu comes and sits there. Hao says, "I have some work. I am going." Gumu says, "I proposed to you on my 18th birthday too. You didn't answer then either, and you are doing the same thing this time too." Saying this, she hugs Hao from behind. Hao says, "There is a competition going on between your family and mine. Until this is resolved, we can't do anything." Saying this, he leaves, and Gumu starts crying. In the next scene, Junyu goes home. Guyan starts to massage her shoulder, and just then, Guyan starts to feel pain. Junyu says, "Are you okay?" Guyan says, "I was just seeing if you love me or not, and how much you love me." Hearing this, Junyu starts to laugh. Then Guyan says, "Will you go with me to make a statue? Because with you, I get motivated." Hearing this, Junyu kisses Guyan and says, "Is it okay now?" Guyan says, "No." So Junyu kisses his lips again and says, "Is it okay now?" Guyan still doesn't agree this time, so Junyu goes to take a shower from there. In the next scene, Junyu goes to learn dance from her childhood friend, Gao. Gao also used to watch Junyu's mom's dance with great enjoyment. While learning to dance, it gets late, so Gao comes to drop her home. Guyan sees this and calls Junyu, but Junyu cuts the call. Seeing this, Guyan gets very angry and sits down. When Junyu comes inside, she starts to appease Guyan. Guyan says, "I called you so I could come to pick you up. And who was that boy?" Zunyu says, he was my friend. He needed my help. Oh, so you are getting jealous. Guyan says, why would I be jealous? His body and shape don't match mine at all. So why would I be jealous? Zunyu says, yes, you can't be compared to anyone. In the next scene, Lin and Yao come to the company together. Yao is about to get out first to go to the company, but Lin says, no, first kiss me. So Yao kisses her and then leaves. In the next scene, Junyu learns to dance and calls everyone there. As soon as Junyu starts to dance, Guyan's heart starts to hurt. Guyan understands that something bad is about to happen to Junyu. Just then, something is about to fall from above. So Guyan runs and pushes Junyu away, but Guyan gets a very serious injury on his head. In the next scene, Guyan is taken to the hospital. The doctors say if Guyan regains consciousness, he is out of danger. If he doesn't regain consciousness, there are chances of death. Hearing this, Shunyu starts crying a lot. In the next scene, when Hao learns about this, he goes to his mom and says, Mom, I know you did all this. Now you are harming the Gu family. Mom says, I did all this for you. Hao says, Mom, because of you, I can't even be with the one I like. And if Guyan regains consciousness, I will go to that ceremony where I am supposed to receive an award. If Guyan doesn't regain consciousness, then forget about me. Saying this, Hao leaves, and his mom starts crying. In the next scene, Hu Xin is feeding Shun Yu. Just then, two nurses are saying that the person from the Gu family who was admitted has regained consciousness. Hearing this, Jun Yu becomes happy and runs and hugs Guyan. Guyan pushes her back and says, Who are you? So Jun Yu asks the doctor to check Guyan. The doctor says he has lost his memory for some time, but after some time, his memory will come back. So Jun Yu becomes a driver again to bring back Guyan's memory. In the next scene, Grandpa is saying to Hao's mom, Admit your mistake. You are the one who harmed Guyan. You sent that man, right? The police are looking for that man. As soon as that man is caught, your truth will come out, and people will also know what kind of family the Wei family is. So Hao's mom starts apologizing and says, Please don't bring my family into this. My son has also left me. I have realized that it was my fault in everything. And Hao loves Gu Mu. Please don't separate Gu Mu from Hao because of me. Grandpa says, I know, and I will not tell anyone what you said. I would not want to make Gu Mu sad again. In the next scene, Bai Bin meets Shun Yu and says to her, Today I will tell you the story of the flying fairy. The flying fairy was first with my ancestor, and then from my ancestor it came to Guyan's family. It was given to those people who could take good care of them. And then when they find a girl with this face, it becomes their duty to keep that girl with them and also take care of her, protect her, and save her from troubles. Hearing this, Jun Yu is shocked and says, Is this true? Bai Bin says, Yes, it's true. And I'll tell you one more thing. That person will have a birthmark. From that, he will know that this girl is about to get hurt, or something is about to happen to her. If he has fully protected the girl until now, his birthmark will disappear. Jun Yu says, How can I believe your words, whether this is true or not? Bai Bin says, If you know about Guyan's birthmark, then go and check his birthmark to see if it has disappeared. He doesn't love you. He just felt like he loved you because of that birthmark. As his birthmark disappeared, he doesn't even know you. Hearing this, Zunyu can't believe his words. In the next scene, Guyan is putting on his shirt. Zunyu comes and starts screaming. Guyan silences her. Zunyu moves the shirt aside and looks for his birthmark, but it's not there. Zunyu says, Where is your birthmark? Just then, Xiao arrives there and is about to go back, but Guyan stops him. Shunyu says, Where is your birthmark? Guyan says, How would I know? When I woke up, my birthmark wasn't there. I don't know where it went. Hearing this, Shunyu quietly leaves from there. In the next scene, Sunyu is lying in Guyan's room. When Guyan sees her, he says, What are you doing here? And on top of that, what kind of dress are you wearing? Sunyu says, I was just trying to make you remember me. Before, you used to love me and even hug me, but now you have changed. Saying this, she hugs Guyan. Guyan pushes her aside and starts to leave. Sunyu hugs him again and then, as per Xiao's suggestion, kisses him. Guyan also remembers all the kissing memories while kissing and then says, You are taking advantage of me, aren't you? Saying this, Guyan leaves, and Shunyu starts crying. In the next scene, Xiao takes Guyan to see Shunyu's dance. Shunyu is dancing, and Guyan starts to remember all the previous memories and faints. Before Guyan's memory comes back, Ruoshi comes to meet Guyan and says, You just took Shunyu's name. That's a girl's name. Who is she? Guyan says, This girl looks exactly like you. Ruoshi says, Do you love her? Guyan says, Yes, I love her very much. Ruoshi says, Time is very short. Stay with the one you love. Saying this, Ruoshi leaves. In the next scene, Guyan is in the hospital and he remembers everything. In the next scene, when Guyan and Shunyu go home, Guyan says, Massage me. I'm in pain. Saying this, Guyan lies down. As soon as Shunyu starts to massage him, Guyan sits up straight and, looking at Shunyu, starts to laugh. Shunyu understands that his memory has come back, so she hugs Guyan. In the next scene, Shunyu gets ready and goes to a very beautiful place. As she moves forward, she sees all the previous pictures hung there. As Shunyu moves forward, Guyan comes there and starts saying sweet things to her and also proposes to her with a ring, saying, "Will you marry me?" Hearing this, Shunyu extends her hand forward, so Guyan puts the ring on her. And while Guyan is putting the ring on, seeing this, tears come to Shunyu's eyes, and then they both start to kiss each other. In the next scene, Shunyu and Guyan's wedding day arrives. Shunyu's dad gives Shunyu's hand into Guyan's hand, and then they both go on stage, and Xiao is conducting their wedding. Then, they both say yes to marrying each other, and then Guyan and Shunyu both kiss each other. And right here, our drama has its happy